because this is such a high amount of energy, it can cause things to do things like actually rupture. So it will explode on itself. And that's because the structure itself cannot take the impact of the energy that is moving through it. And that's especially if there's no grounding, nowhere for that energy to go. If it gets trapped in the system, it will do things like overheat itself, causing fires, or actually rupture, break, crack, or explode. Now, most of the time, if lightning is striking, not necessarily directly, but striking nearby, or you catch a little discharge on an aircraft or a vehicle, it does what's called the Verde cage process. So it basically works like a Verde cage, which means that the electricity will actually move around the object like a shell, and everything inside of it will be okay. With that said, sometimes it strikes the right spot that it will not have the release, or sometimes the strike is directly on the object itself. So, for example, it strikes the actual aircraft itself. And in those cases, you'll often see deformation of the metal because it can't take the heat on the skin. It will create a vaporization of any liquidized materials, and it can wreak havoc on the fuel systems as well as cause fires to start in the fuel systems because of the amount of heat in the action. And this heat is to a level where I can cause potential for explosions because I will reach that flash point, right? I'll reach that heating flash point. And it can cause, obviously, an interruption to any type of interface or electronic equipment, if not frying the electronic equipment in its set. Here is an example of a lightning attachment hole. This is lightning strike on a car where it actually got into the electrical system of the car and caused the car to have a car fire, which brings me to the, if you are in a car in a lightning storm and you cannot get somewhere safe, do not continue to drive. Pull over to the side of the road because of that positive streamer thing again. The car's positive ions are hanging out at the top, and if it begins to attract a step leader on its way down, so it's negatives, it will stay in that same spot, and as you continue to drive, you'll create a really long line, which you'll have even more reach for your positive streamer again. So in the case of a lightning storm, pull over to the side of the road. Once again, the lightning part of the storm only lasts about 5 to 25 minutes. Take a break. Pull over. Key factors to know as far as outdoors is the most dangerous place to be. All thunderstorms produce lightning are dangerous, so take them seriously. Lightning can strike as far as 10 miles away from the actual rainfall part of the storm. So anywhere near the storm can be dangerous. And lightning can actually jump a full 3 miles from the location of strike. If you can hear the thunder, you are in the danger zone for the lightning. Looking for cloud base and increase in winds is really important. Think about when a thunderstorm or any major storm with big vertical clouds comes in. There's sort of that predecessor where the sky starts to get dark and then the breeze starts to blow. And when the breeze starts to blow, that's when you look at everybody and you're like, time to pack up. It looks like it's going to rain. You're actually predicting the weather based on the conditions that are predispositions of thunderstorms. So you're being smart when you're doing this, and you're being intuitive to the actual weather conditions to come. Blue skies can still mean lightning, and lightning can travel up to 10 miles sideways from that storm. So even though you're in the area with the blue skies and you're looking at the thunderstorm in the distance, and this is common if you live on or near the water, where you'll actually see the thunderstorm out over the water and you'll be like, wow, that's coming in pretty fast. If you are in a radius less than 10 miles away and you are watching that lightning storm, you can be in danger. Find indoors and then watch it from a short distance from your window, right? Don't press your face against the glass back here from the window, right? So be smart about where you're doing it. At least 10% of lightning occurs without any visible clouds overhead. And these are kind of those freak lightning actions, but there's still the conditions in the atmosphere. The atmosphere is conditionally unstable. There is ionic separation. There is charge separation in the atmosphere. I love this picture because it really gets to the point of how it can come out of a cloud and arc. And this difference as it came out of the cloud up here to where it reached the ground is actually about 2 miles away from being under the storm itself, right? So it's just something to always keep in mind. As far as outdoor safety rules, because you never know. You might be in the outdoors and there might be a lightning storm on its way. So one of the first things is what we define as a shelter. A safe shelter is anything that is enclosed, meaning that it has a roof, walls, and floor. And that's considered the safest place to be. Plumbing, wiring actually helps. Safe vehicles are those with hard tops. Don't go climbing into a soft-topped vehicle. No Jeeps, my friends, no Jeeps. And then if you're in the water and you're not in a tiny boat, if you're in a tiny boat, go to the shore. Go to the shore. If you were in a large boat, this is really common. This is something that can happen if you're somebody who's ever been sailing. It happens. Go down into the cabin of the large boat and hang out in the cabin as the storm approaches. Bed down and get cozy, Outdoor safety rules. If there is no shelter, move away from all tall trees. I don't care if you're going to get wet. Getting wet is the least worrisome thing. Put on your raincoat and get out there into the field. Don't climb up on the top of the hill. Get out there into the field or the grassy area. Get out away from the trees. Keep away from all metal objects and fences. They can kill you. And then the other thing is, if the storm is approaching, if there's a lightning storm approaching, spread yourself out from the people around you. Get yourselves in a 15-foot or greater circle. And that's because that lightning can leap through your body to the person next to you. So you have to get about 15 feet away to make sure you don't create contact lightning. And so put yourself at, 20 feet from that person and just set yourselves up with eye contact. Look at one another. And there is a natural reaction. People who are going to get struck by lightning know they're going to be struck by lightning because the positive streamer will make that connection. It'll cause everything on your body to stand up. The skin will prickle. Your hair will stand up on edge. Everything will rise up on your body. It's worse than goosebumps. It's a very tingly feeling all over your body. You're about to get struck. And if that occurs, there is a position that can help you not go into cardiac rest as quickly or have your heart blow out. And that is this funky crouching position over in the corner. And I'm going to see if I can get the camera right and get myself into that funky crouching position on the floor here. Let's see. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Let's see if I can get into this for you. Whoop, whoop, whoop. And it's this. You're going to get your feet on the floor. And if you can't do this with your feet on the floor, put your feet flat, get your legs out, and bend with your feet on the floor. You want to create as direct a line of contact, one line of contact. Notice how my heels are together so that when the lightning strikes, it can discharge through my body down into the ground and then cover your ears so that you don't blow out your eardrums when the thunder rolls through. It's been proven to work by people who are survivalists. And if you've ever done any hiking or outdoors enthusiasm, it's something that you should know. You should know the lightning crouch. As far as you don't get under the trees because they themselves are like giant lightning rods. They're sending out positive streamers. And if they get struck by lightning, the cell structures on the trees don't know what to do with all that energy, even though it's a grounded object. And so a lot of times they'll blow out on themselves. Their cells will... Actually, what's happening is the water within the cell is expanding, creating rapid expansion, which causes the whole tree to explode. Actually splinters into many little pieces. And as far as humans, there's about... humans can survive, and it's because of life-saving CPR. So that's another reason to get yourself spread out from those other people so that you can see one another, and if one of you gets struck, the other one can then come in and help you. Save your life. And on the other hand, animals we don't have CPR for, so if they get struck by lightning,